Are you ever going to get back into WoW, or is it a lost cause? Dude, I've been watching these clips. Everybody is talking about this fucking cinematic, bro. They're absolutely, like, this cinematic is making World of Warcraft go absolutely viral in the year 2025. You thought it wouldn't happen? I'm gonna be honest, neither did I. But here we are. And so let's take a look and watch this cinematic. This is the cinematic. Yep, guys, get ready. You ready? No, you're not. Let's watch it.
Stop this! Dinath fought to save all of Azeroth. He sold us out so the Alliance and Horde could wage war in Kar-Zalgar.
So why was it there? But then here it's there.
Sold us out so the Alliance and Horde could wage war in Kar-Zalgar.
Yeah.
You'll never understand.
You'll never understand me.
You'll never understand.
Yeah.
You'll never understand.
You'll never understand me. Damn. Damn. Shield slam.
The Red Dawn will rise again.
No! Do not make her a martyr.
Oh, Baldy coming in.
Our history will read. Faerun,
this is real, guys. This isn't.
of the Arathi,
this is real.
allowed Merrin to live without her title and name. The Red Dawn vanished from the Highlands forever.
This?
Do you remember whenever the game was cool and instead of people wearing glasses, they just wore a blindfold and they could sense the demonic energy around them, and that allowed them to have a daredevil level of awareness that actually gave them a insight that was greater than what they had originally begun with. Same with Drekthar the Farseer. Yeah, and now we have this fucking lame ass. Bro, you've got these girls wearing fucking hipster glasses in World of Warcraft? What kind of cringe bullshit is this? This is so pathetic. Oh my god. This is Reddit content. I can't even believe this.
This is not over.
Oh my god. Who the fuck wants to see this? Yeah, and so that's by the way, that's the cinematic. That's the whole thing, guys. There it is. That
My mic has literally been muted this whole fucking time. Oh my god, what I was talking about earlier is how much I really enjoy Asmongold's content. But no, that the trailer I was talking about a totally different trailer. That's what I was talking about earlier in the video. I apologize. I didn't realize my mic was muted, guys. I'm waiting on this toolbox to get delivered, and so I had my mic muted because I was, anyways. So the cutscene that I thought he was talking about, the one that it had people going all crazy for World of Warcraft, was a totally different cutscene. Like, this is the cutscene that got me back in the game. Type in trailer behind this and see if it'll bring up what we're talking about here. This one. I think this is the one. 15 years ago? No, that's not the one. This one. This is the cutscene that blew me away, that had me like, okay, I need to play World of Warcraft again. Like, look at the sheer detail. Like, you know how long it took them to make this cutscene? This is like making a TV series or a TV show or something. Like, it took them who knows how much money and time to make this.
Anduin.
And for those that don't know, Anduin and Thrall have been there from the beginning. Okay, these are two of the biggest characters in the entire World of Warcraft saga, or Warcraft saga for that matter. Thrall, you know, he was, you know, obviously he's the Horde, but he was raised by humans. You know, a lot of people don't realize this part of the lore, but yeah, he was raised by humans.
We don't get to hide.
So he always played the, you know, he was always in between.
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
You didn't just come here for me. It's the visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately. Something, someone, is calling out from the heart of the world, like a voice from a dream. Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again, my son.
I am not that person anymore. I have no light. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
He's blown away. You know, if you knew the whole story, you'd understand why he's blown away that Thrall just said that, you know.
Hear me.
I really wish I could show you all the full widescreen, man. Like, I wish that somebody would come in my stream and tell me how that works. Like, so I can show everything that I'm seeing right now.
Look, whatever's coming, I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet.
This right here, like, still, like,
But that
not unless somebody
sword
else knows, like, who
was
threw
aimed
that sword?
at someone.
Who orders that? Like, I want to figure that out. And so, you see World Soul Saga, you know, just like any other person in the world, World Soul Saga, okay? So let's figure out what World Soul Saga actually is. 11 months ago. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe this will shine some light on what that actually is, because I play for World of Warcraft. I play this game annually, or I pay for this game annually. So I have a subscription to them all year, every year, and I have had that subscription ever since the game came out. Unfortunately, I just don't have any friends that play this game. That's another reason why I made this stream, is to meet friends that game. Like, I'm constantly gaming by myself. I want friends, guys. I need friends. My life was boring. I mean, I can't say it's too boring. I'd be unthankful or I'd be ungrateful. I'm very grateful for all the cool stuff I have, but like I said, I will get a mic soon. I will get a capture card soon. You guys can rely on me to consistently stream my opinion on the news, on new games, on new hardware, on new everything. We're going to go on to new hardware in just a little bit. So this is telling us nothing here. I don't know what the heck that is. That doesn't say anything about the Soul Saga or whatever. Let's see. Asmongold's really good at zeroing in on the important stuff. But yeah, we're gonna talk about computer hardware for a little bit after this, and the reason we're gonna do that is because there are so many poor, misguided souls out there. From a person that's been building computers for a very long time, from way back in the day when we were playing on our grandma's Gateway, like, people mislead all of you guys, and I hope enough people see this video. But anyways, we're gonna try to figure out what this Souls Saga is, because me personally, I want to get into it. When I log on World of Warcraft, I literally go to the group finder and I queue up for PvP. That's it. I haven't played any I didn't even play any of the Dragon campaign. I mean, I did play a little bit of it, but not enough to be able to talk about it.
This storyline, the World Soul Saga.
Okay.
I feel the same way.
What does this mean?
Same way.
The World Soul Saga is so epic, as we covered. It cannot be contained within any single expansion.
Here, let's get
It is
Asmon
built
a
to
little
play
bit
out
higher.
over
There
multiple
we go.
expansions over the next few years.
Like Final Fantasy.
Instead of just debuting your next expansion,
That's what I'm
all
going to
on
do
its
throughout this
lonesome,
video.
Yeah.
we have decided to give you a glimpse at
Good
your
job, Asmon.
next 3 expansion sets.
What the fuck?
Took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
What
You
the
took the
fuck?
words right out of my mouth.
That's insane.
The first part
It is.
of the World Soul Saga and your 10th expansion is called World of Warcraft: The War Within.
Okay, so it wasn't.
I
wasn't Avalon.
I didn't play
Great.
that. I didn't have anybody to play it with, so it was hard to play that
The
when
War
all my
Within
friends
what?
are playing Call of Duty.
You will be descending into the heart of
Fortnite.
Azeroth itself, exploring new subterranean kingdoms
What
and
the fuck?
engaging with ancient cultures like the Earthen, and the terrifying Nerubians of Arsh Kahet.
All right, cool. They're gonna increase the level cap, or what's gonna happen?
The second part of the World Soul Saga
Oh shit, okay.
is called World of Warcraft Midnight.
Okay. Is this about the Void?
In this chapter, you will be returning, ready, to the old world. To the fabled lands of Quel'Thalas.
Oh, that's cool. Holy shit.
There, the forces of the Void have invaded Azeroth, intent on snuffing
Yes,
out
ma'am,
the light
Saturday
of the
is
Sunwell
perfectly
and
fine.
plunging the world into darkness and fear.
Sunwell 2.
I just got sent
Will
this,
not
so
only
it is a
help
little bit more
reunify
than what
the
I
scattered
thought.
elven tribes of Azeroth, but
It
you will
doesn't
make
sound
your
like it's
stand with the
very
forces
much,
of the
though.
light and banish the shadow forever.
What's a
Great.
good time on
Okay, so
Saturday?
what's the third one? That's cool. All right.
I normally get to the studio at 5 o'clock,
Of
but I
course,
can get there earlier if you
BlizzCon.
need me to.
It is Azeroth. Things may not go to plan.
Sorry, guys. Like I
Things
said,
may just
whenever people
spiral
message me about tattoos, I
wildly
gotta
out of
respond.
control,
Whenever
leading us
people
to
are messaging other people about
the
tattoos,
third
they're
part
not just messaging
of the
me.
World Soul
They're
Saga.
messaging a lot of people. And although I've
World
already
of
custom
Warcraft,
drawn up the
the
tattoo
last
for this
Titan.
particular customer, you never know.
Oh shit.
I like to be speedy whenever I talk to
Yeah,
my
it's
clients.
Azeroth, right?
In this chapter, you will again be returning to the old world. This time, to the wintry lands of Northrend.
Okay, cool.
So, you know, from a guy that has taken a big break of the game, this is the kind of stuff that detours me from the game, like things that I don't know about. You can't just say that name that he just said and then not emphasize on it or explain what the heck it is, because although Asmongold knows about it, he knows a lot more about it than I do. He has a lot more time in the game than me. Like, I don't know. And I'm your normal consumer. I'm the guy that has a full-time job. I work pretty much 7 days a week. I have been taking a little bit of time off here lately, but that's because I just moved here, and my trip to work is very, very far. My work isn't just around the corner or anything like that. It's like over an hour. Right now, if I were to leave my house, it would take me an hour and a half to get to work, and that's because of traffic. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is an opinion from a normal dude that works. I'm a tattoo artist. You know, I work my butt off. So that being said, we'll let Asmongold take the stage.
We like Northrend.
And there, at Ulduar, you will bear witness to the return of the Titans to Azeroth.
What the fuck?
And there, you will uncover a vast conspiracy. One that stretches throughout the history of the world. One that will challenge everything you think you know.
So Illidan comes back.
Their
So do they have to pick
and
up
the
a
true
form and take
nature
it to the
of
bank with
Azeroth
them?
Itself. In time, my friend, in time.
Hold on, I have to
And
make
it's
a phone
called
call, guys.
Silithus. There you go.
Oh shit, so the sword thing is real.
BlizzCon, my hope, our dear hope, is that you can see when it comes to WoW storytelling. We
Yo,
ain't
what's up, bro?
screwing
So
around.
do they need to come to the
Okay,
studio
cool.
to grab like a paper and then take that to the bank? Or take it to get notarized? Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Is that something that they can download off of the well, I mean, but if they do, is it something they can print out? Right on. I'll tell them they can come by and pick it up, or worst case scenario, if they know what they're doing, they can find it themselves. Yeah. Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm waiting on this box to get delivered right now. This guy's like, he needs to come home. But anyways, hell yeah, I really appreciate it, brother. Fuck yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah. All right, brother. Later. So there is a form that you do have to pick up, but you can pick that form up whenever you want. Or you can go on the florida.gov website and get that form yourself. It's totally up to you. Sorry, I just moved here, so I'm having to figure out all the new laws. In Texas, you have to be 18. Okay, sorry. Damn, I thought I was muted. I had no idea I wasn't even muted. My bad, guys. So yeah, I mean, as y'all saw, they're not really going into big details on these World Soul Sagas. I mean, I don't know enough about them to spend much time in it. Like, again, if somebody would like to come on my stream and show me, you know, what it is or what the, like, what, you know, why I should look into it, then, you know, I would, but I don't know. Nobody can tell me that. It's pouring down rain here, that's for sure. It said it was gonna rain, but jeez. Like, what is it, like, again, these videos with no commentary and no explanation. It looks cool, but I mean, what am I supposed to do with this? Okay, sounds good to me. I'm not sure if I'll be there tonight between the weather and trying to get this toolbox delivered. I will for sure be there tomorrow. Like, I feel like I just wasted a few minutes of my life on that video. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So this has like been a really big thing in my life personally, because I have a lot of friends that have gaming computers. Let's look up something. Let's just do this, okay? Graphics cards 2025, because there's a lot of hate around graphics cards and which ones are the best, and so many people are so ignorant to the facts, and they have all these graphics cards. You think they would give you better advice. This was done 3 days ago. Let's see what he says. I haven't watched this video, so I don't know if he has a good opinion or not.
Again.
But I'll give you an opinion from somebody that
what I
has
find
used
really cool,
most of these graphics
the minimum
cards.
power supply requirement, which
don't know why. I guess I.
Hello
started to
and
watch
welcome to the Scatterbolt channel, and today we're going to be going over the best and worst graphics cards to buy for the month of July.
This
so
is
the
what I
good
love.
news
When
is
they
that
say
GPU
best and
prices
worst, they're
have
basically
calmed down
telling you
quite
not
a
to
bit
buy
from their
certain
all-time
graphics
highs
cards.
of just a few months
And
ago.
we'll see if those are
so
graphics
much
cards
so,
that you
this is going to be
shouldn't
my
buy.
first GPU buyer's guide video of the month since February, where I last claimed in that video
And again,
that GPU
this was
prices wouldn't
3
stabilize
days ago.
until September. But in the advent of the upcoming Amazon Prime Week and other sales from competing retailers, the month of July might be a good time to pick up a graphics card, and the next best time probably isn't going to be until September or October. So if you needed something for the summer, now's not a bad time. But again, you want to make sure you pick up the right graphics.
My ultimate opinion is either buy a 9600 XT or buy a 9700 XT and call it a day, and you won't have to worry about buying a graphics card for a few years. If you can't get a hold of one of those graphics cards, you can go all the way back and buy you a 6900 XT. But let's just say that you don't want anything other than an NVIDIA graphics card. The 3060s are starting to become obsolete, even the 12 gigabyte one. Just buy you a RTX 4060. I know it only has 8 gigs of RAM. Get the TI if you want some more VRAM. But at the end, actually, I think it might only have 8 gigs. I'm not sure. But anyways, the 4060 I've put in so many people's computers, and they use their computers this very day playing 1440p gaming, and they absolutely love their computers. So no problems. Intel CPUs and Ryzen CPUs, doesn't matter. Although my system is 100% AMD, that's just me personally. That's what I like personally. But at the end of the day, all of them are good. Like, I just got rid of the MSI 4080 Super Expert, and everybody was like, oh my God, why did you get rid of that? It's so much better than the 97 XT. No, it's not. Get out of here. Yeah, I had them both. So why would I get rid of that one if this one wasn't as good? Makes 0 sense.
Card and not the wrong one, as trust me, there are some stinkers out there in the graphics card market, which is why I've got the help of my website from today's video,
Yes, ma'am.
GPUs.gg.
You guys be safe on the road.
So this is really similar to PCBuilds.gg, but for graphics cards, and I find this super helpful for those of you who just want to find the right graphics card for your PC and not a whole system. So you can find what graphics card is going to fit your needs for ray tracing,
Got
what
me an
kind of
appointment
use cases you're looking
for
is
Saturday.
recommended performance, and what I find really cool,
On a
the
cool
minimum
tattoo that I
power
custom
supply
designed,
requirement, which means
by the way.
you can
You
put
guys
in the
will
power
see
supply
that if
wattage
y'all
of your
buy- if
PC
y'all
and
go- if
know
y'all
which
check me out on
graphics cards
Facebook.
will work in your PC without needing to upgrade your power
Just look
supply.
up my name.
So
I'll
it's
be
a
the
really cool
first one to
website I'm going to
pop
be
up.
referencing throughout
Or,
the video
you
that's
can
going to help
Google
us
my
look
name
at
as
all
well.
the different prices of current graphics cards, not just in the United States, but also abroad in Europe and in the UK.
Let me
so huge
see if
shout
I
out to
can
my web
share
development
my stream
team.
to
This is
some of the
super
streamer
cool.
groups.
But otherwise, this website, along with
Whoops,
all of my other
sorry.
recommended graphics cards from
Didn't
today's
mean to do
video, can be
that.
found in the description down below. So with all that said, let's get into the best budget graphics cards for the month. So let's kick things off with the best budget graphics cards. So to do that, I'm gonna go here on GPUs.gg. I'm gonna go ahead and set the price slider all the way down to $400 and below. And these will be the graphics cards we're gonna be taking a look at first. Starting with the Intel Arc B570, this one's a tricky recommendation because right now on Amazon in the United States, you can pick
I don't
up a
know
bottle
much
for
about
about
that graphics card, so I can't
$260,
really,
which is actually the lowest price
talk about
I've
it
seen this
that
graphics
much.
card go for since February, which is good to see. That means the price gap between the B570 and the B580 is only about $40, which technically makes the
Okay,
B570
put it on
actually
this
a
group.
slightly more compelling graphics card. But do keep in mind, this is still about $40 above MSRP. So right now for the month of July, this isn't that bad. It has 10 gigabytes of VRAM, supports Intel XeSS, which is Intel's version of DLSS. This can also utilize FSR3, so frame generation technology from AMD, since FSR can be used on both Intel and NVIDIA graphics cards, not just AMD's. And the ray tracing performance on this graphics card is okay, but of course you get better ray tracing performance out of an RTX 5060 for about $40 more. And if we were to look abroad, say in the UK, you can actually pick up a B570 for about 240 pounds, which
So these Intel graphics cards, so I have a computer that's got an i5 14600K, 64 gigs of RAM, Asus Prime motherboard. So it's a good computer, and I'm really considering putting a B580 in it. So if anybody knows anything about those graphics cards or have used those graphics cards, I don't know much about them, but I'm like right there on the edge of picking one up. I have a guy that's wanting to trade me one. So.
I don't know how good that is, but in comparison to the B580,
Jeez,
there's about a
man.
25-pound
I don't know
difference.
if I would be able to
you
drive through that
definitely want to
stuff
go for
to
the
begin with.
B580
It's
for
like
about
flooded out
25
there.
pounds more. So if I were you and you really needed a budget graphics card for under $300, the B570 can work
Yeah,
depending on
I
where you're
agree.
at.
But
if this is $40 less than the
this-
B580, then I think
Okay, so here's where he just messed up, okay? And again, this is just my opinion. I've never owned these graphics cards before, but I have watched several videos on these graphics cards. These graphics cards are capable of 1440p gaming. You see how he only has 1080p right there? That is misleading, and that would prevent people from buying the graphics card that don't have a lot of knowledge in the gaming industry and feel like the only thing they can do is 1080p. Yes, you can do 1440p with this graphics card. I promise you. And I've never even used it, but I guarantee you it'll do that. It's got 10 gigs of VRAM for Christ's sakes.
it's worth picking up. But if it's only $30 or $20 less, don't bother with this. Go ahead and pick up a B580 or a different graphics card. This will run pretty much any of your favorite games at 1080p, even more so thanks to its 10 gigabytes of VRAM, so it's not a bad graphics card. I just wish it were a bit cheaper in today's market. The next up we have the Radeon.
It's 260 bucks, bro. How much cheaper do you want it to be? Like, that's pretty cheap for 10 gigs of VRAM. I mean, let's be real.
RX 9060 XT 8 gigabytes, and this is going to be a graphics card you want to stay away from. Why?
This is why I do not like people like him, because he just said that because it only has 8 gigs of video memory.
Why is that? This has 8 gigabytes of VRAM.
What did I just say?
And that is asking for way too much for $300 in 2025. This graphics card at
No, it's not. 300 bucks, great price, great card. It'll do 1440p gaming at way more than 60 FPS. But if you're one of those kind of people that turn on settings that absolutely mean nothing, then yeah, you know, maybe he is right. But you don't have to. There's settings that literally make your game look worse and they make it run worse. There's zero reason to use them.
at $300 should feature more VRAM. It should feature VRAM among the lights of the B580 with 12 gigabytes of VRAM, but AMD didn't really do the ethical thing here with the 8 gigabyte because it shares the same name as the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte, which is significantly better.
It is better.
For only about $50 more. So this is the
if you can
less
get that one,
superior
that's the one
model.
to get.
It's not as good. That 8 gigabyte VRAM buffer, like with all other 8 gigabyte graphics cards I'm going to talk about in the rest of this video, will run out of video memory for sure at 1440.
I hope somebody watches this video that knows this guy and can reach out to him and show him this stream and how retarded he is. He has the video card right in front of him. Did he not hook it up? Did he not play any games on it? Because if he played games on it, he would understand that it's a perfectly good video card and it'll run anything you throw at it. There's not one game out right now that video card won't run.
In the latest AAA games, and even some at 1080p at the highest graphical settings could run into some memory issues with 8GB VRAM GPUs like the 9060 XT. But just about the only silver lining on this graphics card has to be that it has a
9070
PCI
XT.
Express
So just for the people that think that I'm
5.0
joking,
slot on the graphics card. So
let's just put
sure,
that
you could
over
plug
here.
this into
There
older
we go.
systems with only a
So it's in the
PCI Gen
background.
4.0 slot.
And it's
still
only
get some
got
pretty
16
decent
gigs,
bandwidth,
and there's
but
people out there
doesn't
that
make
say
up for the
that's
fact
not
that
enough.
This still only has
Absolutely
8
ridiculous.
gigabytes of VRAM, so once you run out,
this may be the last ad you ever see. Because with
I
the
hope
free
so.
AdBlock extension from
I don't know why people make ads. It literally makes
you
me
are
not
most
want to buy your
certainly out.
product.
So that's the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte. Don't get that graphics card. But what you should consider
But if it's the only
instead,
thing
to a
available
degree-
to you, get
to a
it, and you're gonna
degree,
be perfectly
is
happy.
the Intel Arc B580. So this on paper
That's what
actually
I'm probably
loses
about to
to
put
the
in that other
9060
computer.
XT 8GB on
Oh, you
aggregate.
don't say.
But in certain
It's got-
scenarios at 1440p, where
It's got less. It's got more video memory, but it loses. The 8 gigs is garbage, dude. Shut up. Shut up. Your haircut makes it even more annoying. Like, nobody does their hair like that, Chuck Norris.
you're running games at a higher graphical preset, at a higher resolution, that's where you'll run out of memory on the 9060 XT 8GB, but not have that issue on the Intel Arc B580 because it has 12GB of VRAM. Also, when this graphics card came out at its MSRP of $250, it was an
But y'all heard what he said in the beginning, correct? Y'all heard him say that the 9060 XT gets better, is better in performance, gets higher frames, is a better video card than this video card, although it only has 8 gigs of video memory. So the dude contradicts himself in the same video, and this video has 536. This dude's got 500,000 subscribers. It's got 83K views. Okay, guys, like, that's 500,000 people watched this and got influenced poorly by it.
an absolute godsend for budget PC gamers. At its $250 price, it was most certainly one of the best budget.
Let's just see if you can get a B580 for 250 bucks. Like, I don't understand how streamers like this get this far. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't see one in the $200 mark, in the $200 range. Not one. This is not a $250 graphics card. It's barely a like, where do you even see it for 300? Where is this dude getting his facts at? Like, and 500,000 people are following him? Like, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's go back to the ridiculous video.
Graphics cards pretty much released ever up until a long point. And while this still is a great graphics card, there's two things to keep in mind. One, this should be cheaper. Right now, it's selling for $300 at the lowest on my website here, PC Builds. Sorry, GPUs.gg.
Your website is
on
garbage,
Newegg, there's
bro.
this black Onyx Odyssey model, which, if you don't care about graphics cards and how they look, this is perfectly fine. But this really should be closer to $250 because, like I just said, in terms of raw performance,
Oh, it
this
only
still
runs
technically
everything.
does get beat by the 9060 XT and the RTX 5060 on average, unless you encounter those scenarios where you're at higher resolutions, at higher
This dude
graphical
contradicts
presets where
himself
you can really
over and
tax
over
the
and
8GB
over.
VRAM
Right.
on those graphics cards, but not on the 12 on this.
But you
So
gotta
I
have a
wish this
million
graphics
people
card
that
were
think
cheaper
that
because
what
you
he
kind of
says
run
is
into the
correct.
issue of this graphics card up here, the 9060 XT 16GB for $370. I would certainly pay $70 more to get that graphics card over this. But if the
But
B580
it only
goes for a
has
discount this
but-
month below $300,
Okay, so whenever he introduced that graphics card, he literally said it only has 8 gigs of video memory, so I would not recommend this graphics card. And right now, he's recommending it over this one.
I'd pick it up. If it's for 280 bucks, I'd definitely pick it up. Oh, and the other second issue, because I know this is going to be brought
9060 XT for 280 bucks. Okay, we're a little out of whack there too. And again, I don't know what website he's using, but in reality, and I'm in Florida, okay, I'm in the United States of America. In reality, the 9060 XT is very far from 300. I mean, I don't know. There's one for 329 if you want to buy a card from B&H Photo, whatever the heck that place is. But most of them are, what is this? This isn't either one of those. This is something different. This is some, I don't even know what kind of video card this is. I don't even, let's see, it does say, yeah, that's not even what we're talking about here. But anyways, my point has been made. All right, let's
up in the comment section. There is a CPU driver overhead issue right now, which affects older CPUs. So if you have anything that is older than Ryzen 5000, like a Ryzen 3000, 2000, or Intel 10th gen or 11th gen CPU, or even like a slower Intel Core i3 4-core processor, you aren't going to be able to fully utilize the full power of the B580 due to, again, CPU overhead issues with the drivers for Intel, which won't be a problem if you're building a PC, say, with like a 7500F or an Intel Core Ultra i5 12400, 14400, or even like an Intel Core Ultra 235. But just something to keep.
Why would he recommend an Intel Ultra anything for gaming? Those chips are not made for gaming and they do not do well in gaming, so please don't take his advice.
In mind, if you have an older CPU in your PC and you're looking at this graphics card, you aren't going to be able to utilize the full power.
He is right about one thing. If you do have an older CPU, the Intel graphics cards, for what I hear, and again, this is just for what I hear, they do work better on like 12th gen and higher, to my knowledge.
Of it in select.
But you don't want to buy Intel Ultra
games. Not all games, but in select games. Next up, we have the RTX 5060, which is incredibly tricky to recommend in 2025 because this made no improvements in terms of memory over the older RTX 4060. It has the same 8 gigabytes of VRAM with a small 128-bit memory bus. The only improvement is that this has GDDR7 memory modules instead of the GDDR6 on the old 4060. And actually...
So, he's wrong. All right. There is, in the laptop version, DDR7 modules. In the desktop version that he has literally right in front of him, it's DDR6.
I bought the only RTX 5060 model you should consider in 2025, and it's actually the same one that is linked on my website, gpus.gg, and that is because the only useful reason I see in buying a 5060 in 2025 is for ITX systems needing a small form factor GPU, which at the moment, the fastest small form factor.
Don't listen to anything he says. It's a great video card. It'll run all games. There's nothing you can throw at this video card that it won't run. Don't get me wrong, it's not a 4K video card, but for 1440p and for most people, it's a great video card.
Graphics card is this exact Gigabyte RTX 5060, which is selling more than the $300 MSRP of other 5060s I've found online. But once again, I just want to put that out there. This only makes sense for this exact graphics card. Otherwise, you're good.
Also, the only difference in DDR6 and DDR7 is DDR7 takes less power to achieve a certain megahertz. DDR6 achieves the same megahertz, it just takes a little bit more power. So in the desktop variant, that's why it has DDR6. The laptop variant has DDR7 because of a power consumption thing. FYI.
You're going to want to pass on the RTX 5060 for a lot of the same reasons as the RX 9060 XT 8GB. That 8GB VRAM buffer is not going to sustain itself at 1440p, and on certain AAA games at 1080p at the highest graphical presets, it's going to, even then, potentially run out of memory. And it also doesn't help that unlike the 9060 XT 8GB, this has a PCI Express X8 5.0 slot. Not X16, X8. And that does pose some issues on PCI Gen 4.0 and especially 3.0 systems that are older. So the 5060 is a very limited.
Okay, hold on just a second. I didn't know that. Oh, whoops. Let's look that up, because I don't believe that bullshit. I think that's garbage. Specs. Blah blah blah. See, DDR6. 8 gigs. These are all other people hating on it. I just want to see the specs. Okay, so 128-bit PCIe 5. I don't see anything about it being 8X. Like, that doesn't make any sense. They haven't made a PCIe 8X graphics card in years, and that might be one of the dumbest things I've heard all day. And again, I'm doing this for awareness to other people. You had 500,000 people just watch that video. Probably, I doubt anybody will watch this video. And this video is spreading real knowledge. And again, that's the laptop variant I just showed y'all. The card draws from a 1.8x pin. That's just talking about the wire. Yeah, I mean, there's no way this card is it's only an 8x card. Yeah, there's no way. I don't see that. So, that's also not true.
A graphics card. It's only good for...
By the way, just so y'all know, this right here does not mean it's PCIe 8X. It's just an 8th generation of the card. That's all that means.
For Fortnite, and that's it. But really, the best overall budget graphics card in this price range is going to have to be the RX 9060 XT 16GB, which is ironic because it's actually the most expensive out of this whole list of graphics cards. It's about $370 right now with this ASRock Challenger model found on Newegg. And really, this takes the cake because it has a lot of VRAM. It has 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And if you look at the benchmarks, especially between this graphics card and the RX 9060 XT 8GB, there is a pretty clear night and day difference in performance, especially at 1440p and once again, more graphically demanding games with higher graphical presets at higher resolutions. That extra memory does come into play on this graphics card. And another thing I do want to give credit to AMD for with this generation of RX GPUs is their much improved ray tracing performance. So if you're wondering, this is barely any faster than the old RX 7700 XT, if you remember that graphics card, in terms of rasterization performance, so regular gaming. But in terms of ray tracing, this is closer to a 7800 XT, which is really great to see at its current price tag of $370. So it goes to show that AMD have really stepped up in terms of ray tracing this generation.
And again, I know a lot of these cards are similar in price, but at the end of the day, they have newer technology, they have newer frame generation, and as I just showed y'all, and I will show you again, frame generation does not cause all this stuff that they're talking about, all these artifacts, all these weird things. It does not do any of that. Yes, it will raise the latency. I'm not using frame generation in Black Ops 6 or anything, but in almost any other game, there's no reason not to use it. It's less strain on your video card. It does not cause it to consume more power or anything like that, and it will give you better performance. Now, don't get me wrong, if you can't run a game, if you're running the game at 15 FPS, frame generation is not going to fix your problem.
To actually, in some cases, be on par with NVIDIA for their ray tracing performance per dollar, as we'll see later in this video. So the 9060 XT, it's good if you get the 16 gigabyte model. And
it's
yeah, I
good
think in
if
ray
you get
tracing,
any
it
model.
does outperform the RTX 5060 8 gigabyte overall as well, which is cool to see. And there is that FSR 4 versus DLSS 3 or 4 debate that is worth considering, but that deals with software. Both are great. If you take a magnifying glass and look at FSR 4,
that is one thing he is correct about as well. There's, just like I just said, frame generation is frame generation. It just gives you a little bit higher FPS.
And DLSS 4 side by side, yes, you'll notice different, but especially graphics cards. And I picked out a few deals I want to go ahead and highlight really quick. Some around 100, some around 200, like this PNY Accelerate GTX 1660 Super.
Don't buy this graphics card, regardless of what he says.
This is one of the best.
Not unless all you play is Fortnite and 1080p, then yeah.
Video graphics cards under $100. And this at $90 is right on the money. This is how much I'd pay for a 1660 Super, and better yet, it's being sold by the official Java store, so it's been refurbished and tested. For just a bit more though, we have the GTX 1070 Ti, which is nice, for $110 in very good condition according to the seller.
It's all good.
It's cool. You'll make
We're
my day.
not watching this video for
Same performance, which it won't, and it's basically a scam, like the 9060 XT 8GB.
Alright, so let's go to one of these. I mean, I just want you guys to see what I'm talking about here. Like, so many people, they just post random stuff. Like, I have to ask myself where they get their facts from. 4060 Ti for $600. Here's one for $389. I mean, these are all, I mean, don't get me wrong, these video cards will run your games, but it's definitely not worth the money. And that is kind of what he's saying, but if you do have this video card already, there's no reason to upgrade.
Don't get the 5060 Ti 8GB. Do not run away from it. Don't just stay away from it. Run away from
Definitely don't buy it brand new. It's not worth it.
it. And you know, if I had a...
But if you're going to get a 4060 and that's about the same price, might as well. It will give you better performance.
5060 Ti 16GB right here. I would talk about it a little bit more, but I don't have one here on the table. So I do want to point out that I do have good vibes on the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB. It does have an MSRP of about $430, so it is about $20 over MSRP. And all things considered, the 5060 Ti 16GB is not too shabby. The reason why I like it is because one, it has 16GB of VRAM that is very much useful, but it does have the same sort of...
Let's see if you can get one of those for that price. So here's one for $389. So this makes you ask yourself why you would ever buy a 40 series to begin with. Let's find one from a reputable retailer. $500, $549, $549. Here's one for $379, but it's only an 8 gig, which is not that. It's really, that's actually a pretty good deal right there. That's a phenomenal deal if you can find it.
Of 128-bit memory bus we've seen already with the 9060 XT and the RTX 5060. But the good news is that the RTX 5060 Ti, like the 5060, has GDDR7 memory modules. So although this has a small 128-bit memory,
again, DDR6, DDR7, it doesn't matter.
Bus, that faster GDDR7 memory module is going to allow for more memory information to be passed through this small memory bus. So the overall memory bandwidth on the 5060 Ti 16GB is actually kind of fast. And as a result, you can effectively use that 16GB worth of VRAM on the graphics card. And at 1440p, it's got sufficient memory bandwidth. So it's actually not too bad. Now that said, between this and a 7800 XT, the 7800 XT is obviously going to have better rasterization performance, but in ray tracing, which as we're seeing more and more games are being dependent upon, and as a matter of fact, they come stock with the game, you can't turn it off, you're going to need graphics cards that have better ray tracing performance. And the 5060 Ti at $450 is not too shabby. But the big question is, should you spend the extra $100 or $150 to get the 5070? I'll go ahead and answer that next. But otherwise, if you have $450, the 5060 Ti 16GB is not that bad. The GDDR7 memory modules on it allow it to effectively utilize that 16GB worth of VRAM actually pretty well, which is something we didn't see in the old 4060 Ti 16GB. Older, slower memory modules, although it had double the VRAM, it didn't help it out that much. But in this situation, it does with the 5060 Ti, which is cool. But RTX 5070, this one's upsetting because the 5070 has the same performance as the RTX 4070 Super from 1 year ago. So we didn't see any
great video
generational
card.
uplift in
I just
performance
had
with
one.
the
I just
5070
sold it
over the
to-
old
to
4070
some people
Super.
that I
Just about the only
tattoo
benefit
on,
this
and they're
brought
good
over
people.
that is a $50 reduction in price in terms of MSRP. And although on GPUs.gg you will see this $550 Walmart link for the 5070, it's constantly out of stock. Whereas these Newegg and Amazon
They have
links
them at my local
can be found for
Walmart.
usually about $600. So it's still selling for about $50 over MSRP, which is, for this kind of a graphics card, something that isn't warranted for, especially because
Really,
you
not
got this
that big of a
graphics
deal.
card right next to it that I'm gonna talk about
Not
right
that
next.
big of a deal
that
at
is
all.
a lot better. But the RTX 5070 is just underwhelming. It also only comes with 12
Dude,
gigabytes of VRAM, which is
Like,
asking for
you
way too
don't
much
need
for its
that high of a
$600
frame
price
rate.
tag
Alright.
in 2025. You should
Anything
have
over
more VRAM to
120
play around
FPS
with
is more
if you're
than
spending
enough.
$600 on a
I
graphics
mean, I run
card,
games at high
especially for
FPS,
1440p.
and I can't
Because
tell
who
a
knows?
difference between
You could load
the
up
two.
Grand Theft
Some
Auto
of my
6
games
on the
are running at
5070,
150,
and you could
some of
run
my
into
games are running
memory
at
issues
300.
because of how graphically demanding that game
Some
is,
of them running
or
at
how
600,
taxing it is
500.
on video memory. But let's talk about ray tracing FPS per dollar. Because while you think you get an NVIDIA graphics card for its improved ray tracing performance, which was certainly true for every other NVIDIA
Okay, so ray tracing in general is not what it used to be. Ray tracing used to tank your FPS, and don't get me wrong, you will get a hit by using it, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And that's reality.
generation up until this
Like-
point.
The game I'm about to show you is full ray tracing, and it does almost nothing to my FPS.
Let me fill you in on the graphics card I recommend in the mid-range, that being the RX 9070, which I don't have yet in the studio, but I've got an old 7900 XT box to represent it. In terms of ray tracing per dollar, because both the 9070 and the 5070 have the same MSRP and the same current selling price of $600 US, the 9070 matches the 5070. I'm not kidding. Look at benchmarks between the RX 9070 and the RTX 5070 in ray tracing games, and they are even. Like I said, AMD really caught up in ray tracing this generation. And you sweeten the fact with the 9070 with the fact that, one, it comes with 16 gigabytes of VRAM for the same price as the 5070, so more VRAM, meaning it's going to be better equipped for future PC games and current ones at 1440p. And two, in terms of rasterization performance, so non-ray tracing games, it smokes the 5070. It beats the 7900 XT. It's a pretty good GPU, and it's only $50 over MSRP like the 5070, but I actually rate the RX 9070 pretty well. And I think with the upcoming Amazon Prime Week and other competing sales this month in July, we could see it go for officially below $600. I'm pretty sure, because a lot of people sleep on the RX 9070 and they jump straight to the RX 9070 XT, which we'll be covering later. And that's good. Continue sleeping on the RX 9070, because that means it's gonna go down in price, which is gonna mean it's gonna be an even better deal for PC gamers who want no compromises, 1440p gaming, without spending way too much money. All right, and now let's finish out the video with the best high-end graphics cards to get for the month of July. Starting with
So before he talks about high-end graphics cards, let me also explain something. 4090s, I had a 4090. I actually had two of them. 5090, the last like super high-end one I had before the 4090 was the 2080 Ti. And after I bought it, I had it for about a day, and I went and I exchanged it for just a regular 2080 because man, those cards are so overkill for everything most gamers do that they're just a huge waste of money. Now, if you have a lot of extra money and you just want to have it, and you just want to be able to say that you have it, or trying to hit those benchmarking leaderboards and stuff like that, then hey, more. That's awesome. I'm happy that they make a card that does stuff like that. But in real world and just for most gamers, those cards are irrelevant, guys.
with the ones you shouldn't get. And funny enough, AMD is actually on the chopping block. We have the RX 7900 XTX. Reason being, The only viable time you could have gotten this graphics card was back in January when the RTX 5090 and RTX 5080
They're very
released.
overpriced right now.
Because when both of those graphics cards came
And they're
out
really
at
not
the
worth
time,
it.
virtually no one could have gotten their hands on any of those new NVIDIA GPUs. And because of how underwhelming the RTX 5080 was for its $1,000 price tag, it made the 7900 XTX in basic rasterization games with no ray tracing look really good. But now in July, 7 months on, if we were to check out current pricing, the RX 7900 XTX is selling for about $900 on Newegg. And the problem with that is this guy right here, the 9070 XT, because it's finally come down in price. You can get one for $200 less, which, spoiler alert, the 9070 XT has almost the same rasterization performance as the 7900 XTX. But like what I mentioned with the RX 9070, AMD made some huge gains in ray tracing performance this generation versus its last one. So in ray tracing, the 9070 XT completely smokes the 7900 XTX in ray tracing. For that reason, I know this does have 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and if you didn't care about ray tracing and you just wanted raw performance, this was still a really great graphics card choice. Just times have changed, and that more or less goes to show just how ridiculous that 9070 XT is, even at its overinflated price right now. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to conclusions here with the RTX 5090. It's not that this is necessarily a bad graphics card, it's just no longer meant for gamers.
Yeah.
Look at the prices
That's what I
it's
just said.
selling at for right now. Oh, do I not even have it $100 increase in Amazon? Really great reduction in price. I'll coin this now, and I'll coin it later in the video, but the 5070
Awesome
Ti
graphics card.
is about 10% slower
Worth
than
the
the
money.
5080, but
Good
currently
card.
costs about 40% less in price.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna lose.
So he got that right.
This is the cheapest one I found on Newegg that is at $1,400.
Yeah. Unnecessary.
Segment, and it makes so much sense. It is the RX 9070 XT.
Which
Now,
is
don't
what
get
I'm
me
using
wrong,
right now,
this
but I'm
graphics
using the
card still
Mercury
isn't at its
edition.
advertised MSRP of $600. However,
Paid about $9
it
for
is
mine.
at $700 right now. It's not that far off. Give it a year, and I think we'll see this GPU again at MSRP. And when
Great
it does,
graphics card.
it is
I
going
recommend
be
it to
the
any and
next
everybody that's
GTX
wanting a high-end
1080
video
Ti
card.
of AMD Radeon GPUs. It is going to be the best RX 9000 GPU released so far from this generation. It punches so high above its weight class, it's not even fun.
All right, so that was my little, I've been wanting to make a video kind of narrating one of these videos, and I'm telling you, dude, people will mislead you into thinking you have to have a 9800 X3D, or you got to have an X3D chip, and you got to have, a crazy high-end motherboard and graphics card. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. You can play 1440p, well over 120 FPS for less than $1,000 all day long. Put me to the test. I will build you a computer for less than $1,000, and it'll run everything you can throw at it. So easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Funny.
Let's
Yes.
go back to what we were doing. I mean, and again, I'm like I said before, I'm playing on a 9070 XT, and
Joffrey, he said that? Why?
running everything beautifully.
Nothing
I'm
I ever heard
streaming.
about.
I mean,
But
I
Joffrey
do
would be the
have
one to know.
internet latency
He's the Grand
problems,
Master of my
but
order. Although you may not think so to meet him, he lives quietly as a monk at Waynon Priory, near the city of Coral. First, you need to get out of here. Through that door must be the entrance to the sewers, past the locked gate. That's where we were heading.
is that a bubble?
It's a secret way out of the
floating above
Imperial
his
City.
head?
Or it was supposed to be secret. Here,
Or
you'll need this
not.
key for the last door into the sewers. There are rats and goblins down there. But from what I've seen of you, I'm guessing you're an experienced acrobat. Am I right?
I don't know. I'm gonna be definitely not a bard. Is there not more? Custom class, magic. I do want to wear heavy armor. Doing that. Oh. Illusion, destruction, conjuration. I do want to wear heavy armor. Why wouldn't it let me go past? What the fuck am I doing wrong? Do I need to pick? I don't understand. So can I do? Oh no. Yes.
Really? I would never have guessed. Still, I don't think you'll have any trouble with rats and goblins. You must get the amulet to Joffrey. Take no chances, but proceed to Wayne Priory immediately. Got it? Take it easy. You'll be fine. I know this is a lot to take in all at once. No one's more surprised than me that I'm sending an escaped prisoner off with the Amulet of Kings. But the Emperor trusted you for a reason, and I trust the Emperor. The Amulet of Kings must get to Joffrey at Wayne Priory. He'll know what to do with it. Joffrey should know how to find the heir the Emperor spoke of. The amulet must reach Emperor Uriel's heir so a new Emperor can be crowned. I'll stay here to guard the Emperor's body and make sure no one follows you. You'd better get moving.
Alright, so let's escape the sewers, and I got a guy that's supposed to be bringing me a toolbox. And then after I get done with that, depending on how that goes, I might get back on. We'll see. See how that goes. Why does it say offline? I don't know, for some reason my widget says I'm offline. I can still chat. Seems what's going to change that. Okay, I'm fine. Alright. But yeah, these graphics are absolutely amazing. So now that I can do magic, protect starlight, what is that? Summon skeleton. That is gnarly. Minor disposal. What does it say here? Okay. Come on, buddy. My skeleton is a little slow. Always going after things. Where's the skeleton going? Get him, buddy. Nice. Oh, there's a... That must be the way I came in. Huh. The graphics are just impeccable. Like, what the hell is that? You can see for so far away. Alright, I gotta get this toolbox, guys. Oh, there's nobody that's watching me actually. Oh, there we go.